Hi, a quick word on practice for singers. Most important thing about practice? Just do some. You are never going to get better unless you do. In fact, if you don't practice, you'll probably get worse. And that's a really hard thing for me to say, and it's a hard thing for you to hear. But I'm not going to put you under any kind of illusion that you'll get better at singing by just turning up to a lesson occasionally and by just singing along to the odd karaoke track on YouTube. It's not going to happen. You need to work at it. Some of that happens in your lessons because we talk about technique, and I'll show you little things you can do to make your voice better. But the hard work happens at home. In 20 minutes or half an hour, I can't wave a magic wand and make you better. I'd love to be able to, but I can't. So here are my ideas for practice for singers. Firstly, have a think about when and how often you want to practice. And for me, I have to put that in my diary on my phone, because if I don't, I'll think of some other thing I can be doing. I'll be playing some rubbish game on my iPad, or I'll stick Netflix on and I'll do that instead. Second thing to think about is, where are you going to practice? So I'm very lucky. I have this music room that I can do my practice in. You might practice in your room. If you share your room with somebody, you might need to organise with them when you can have some time on your own, because it's really important you don't get interrupted. I get interrupted a lot when I practice because I have a dog, and he's okay when I'm singing, but if I'm playing one of my instruments, he'll come and howl, and that's not helpful at all. And sometimes he wants to go out, and it all gets very complicated. So have a think about that. Next thing is, how do you practice? Well, here are some key things that should be in every practice session that you have. First thing, get your body ready. Do some stretching of whatever kind is helpful for your body. You know your body much better than I do. I like to do those stretches and roll my shoulders and lift my shoulders up and plant them down. Then do some breathing exercises. So it's practice at breathing, but it's also getting your body ready for doing some breathing. So some good long deep breaths into your tummy, and or shh or sss or something like that, or maybe blowing into a straw into some water to make sure that that's continual bubbles. I think I've talked about that in a previous video. Next thing is do some exercises. So the kind of things we would do at the start of your lesson, the kind of things I've been putting in all of these videos. Find one that you love. There are lots on the internet. I have some particular favourites. Look up YouTube channel called Verba Vocal Technique. She's got some really good fun ones. She's got a whole video of fun ones, which sometimes I use in my lessons. Be afraid. So use some of those. Maybe use some that are based around the thing that you want to work on, particularly in that practice. And it's good to have an aim for your practice. Maybe today is the day you want to think about your breathing. Maybe today is about words or diction. Maybe it's getting the vowels right. Maybe it's dealing with those long notes. Think about an exercise that would go with that. And then once you've done that, think about what the hardest thing is in the stuff that you're working on at the moment. Is there a particular phrase in a song, or maybe it's the chorus of a song, or maybe it's the start? Excuse my hay fever. But think about that hardest thing and work on that first. Now that's really hard, and you have to be disciplined to do that, because what we really want to do is just sing some stuff. Work on the hard stuff first. You should get to the stage where you can sing it 10 times in a row without making a mistake. That's when you know you've done it right. And to get it like that, what I do is talk about taking back control, which has different connotations these days. But if you can slow something right down, so maybe I've got to do this phrase. Da, 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 da. But for some reason I'm finding it hard. I would slow it right down. Da, 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 da. When I'm confident I've got that right, then I can speed it up. Da, 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 da. Get it right lots of times. So slow it down first, then speed it up. Once you've done those hardest little bite-sized bits, think about the piece or the song that is the hardest. So which one is causing you the nightmares? Do that one next. And then, when you've done that, do the fun stuff. Do the song you love. Do the song you're not even working on for lessons. You just love it right now. Do that stuff. But save that till the end. It's a little bit like when your Friday tea comes and it's, let's say it's egg and chips and peas. It's a great Friday tea. Don't have it very often. Don't have it enough. What I would do is eat the peas first, because they're boring, they're okay, you know, I like them, but they're good for me. So I get them out the way first. Then I start dipping the chips in my egg. Finish my egg, make sure I've got chips at the end because they're my favourite bit and I'm going to look forward to them. So think about your singing like you think about your favourite meals. Get rid of the boring stuff first. Get rid of the difficult stuff that you know is good for you. And then get onto the fun stuff. So they're my tips for practice. Enjoy yourself.